President Trump on Saturday told the class of 2017 at Liberty University to stay true to their ideals and remember that the United States was built on religious principles. "In America we don't worship government, we worship God," Mr. Trump said, delivering a commencement address in Lynchburg, Virginia, at what is considered the largest Christian university in the world. He noted the prominent reverence given to God throughout U.S. history, from the prayers of pilgrims landing at Plymouth Rock to the oath of office taken by every elected officials and the words recited in the Pledge of Allegiance. "As long as I am president, nobody will stop you from practicing your faith," said Mr. Trump. He urged the graduates to follow their dream and to have the courage to defy conventional wisdom, saying he knew firsthand how difficult it was to stand up to naysayers in Washington but that it was worth it. "Nothing worth doing ever came easy," said Mr. Trump. "I know each of you will do what is right, not the easy way." It was Mr. Trump's third visit to the institution but his first as a sitting president. The last sitting U.S. president to speak at the Liberty University commencement was George H.W. Bush. When Mr. Trump first spoke at Liberty University during the campaign, he quoted scripture and vowed to protect Christianity. The close ties he forged with the university leadership paved the way for evangelical support that was crucial to winning the GOP nomination and the White House. Speaking to a friendly crowd at the country's largest Christian university on Saturday, President Trump told the graduating class that in America, we don't worship government, we worship God. "America has always been the land of dreams because America is a nation of true believers," Trump told those gathered at Liberty University. "When the pilgrims landed at Plymouth, they prayed. When the founders wrote the Declaration of Independence, they invoked our Creator 4 times. Because in America, we don't worship government, we worship God. It is why our currency proudly declares, 'In God we trust,'" Trump continued. "And it is why we proudly proclaim that we are one nation, under God, every time we say the Pledge of Allegiance." Trump's speech on Saturday was his first commencement address as president. Trump noted that worshiping God is why our elected officials put their hands on the Bible and say "So help me God" as they take the oath of office. His remarks at the evangelical school come after days of swirling controversy over his decision to fire FBI Director James Comey. As part of the controversy, the New York Times reported that Trump in late January demanded Comey pledge his loyalty to him. Comey reportedly refused, saying he would pledge to be honest with the president. Comey was leading the FBI's investigation into Russia's interference in the 2016 presidential election, including possible collusion between Moscow and Trump's campaign, before he was fired. In an interview with Fox News' Jeanine Pirro released Friday, Trump denied that he demanded the ousted FBI chief's loyalty, but said he did not find such a request inappropriate. "I don't think it is inappropriate, number one," Trump told Pirro. "I don't think it would be a bad question to ask. I think loyalty to the country, loyalty to the United States is important." In his first commencement address as president, Donald Trump on Saturday drew a parallel between what he faces as a political outsider in Washington and what he said the Christian graduates of Liberty University can expect to encounter in a secular world. "They're totally unafraid to challenge entrenched interests and failed power structures," Trump said. "Does that sound familiar, by the way? Relish the opportunity to be an outsider," he continued. "Embrace that label. Being an outsider is fine. Embrace the label, because it's the outsiders who change the world and who make a real and lasting difference. The more that a broken system tells you that you're wrong, the more certain you should be that you must keep pushing ahead." Trump's address was short on scripture but cast the president as a defender of the Christian faith, a mantle he assumed throughout the campaign. "In America, we don't worship government," Trump declared at one point. "We worship God." A president who often ad-libs read from a teleprompter Saturday and stayed mostly on script. and he did not mention the big news of the week, his firing of James B. Comey as FBI director. Jerry Falwell Jr., Liberty University president and evangelical icon, endorsed Trump in January 2016, calling him a successful executive and entrepreneur, a wonderful father and a man who I believe can lead our country to greatness again. Falwell's backing boosted Trump's previously sparse evangelical bona fides and was particularly significant because many political observers had assumed that Falwell would support Senator Ted Cruz, Artex, who had launched his campaign at Liberty 10 months earlier. Trump's relationship with Liberty's student body has been rocky, however. When the billionaire spoke at the university a week before Falwell extended his endorsement, students laughed when Trump quoted a passage from 2 Corinthians. The clumsy wording seemed to betray a lack of familiarity with what is more commonly referred to as the Apostle Paul's second letter to the church in Corinth. In the fall, after the Washington Post published a 2005 video recording on which Trump could be heard boasting about being able to do anything to women and get away with it, a student group called Liberty United Against Trump issued a strong rebuke of the candidate and Falwell. "We are Liberty students who are disappointed with President Falwell's endorsement and are tired of being associated with one of the worst presidential candidates in American history," the group's statement read. It added that Trump received a pitiful 90 votes from Liberty students in Virginia's primary election, a colossal rejection of his campaign. 3 students authored an opinion piece in the Post, writing that Trump is the antithesis of our values. But the president received a warm reception on Saturday from the roughly 50,000 commencement attendees, a record crowd for the university, he proudly declared. Falwell said Trump is the second sitting president to deliver a commencement address at Liberty. George H.W. Bush spoke in 1990. Falwell also said he was honored that Trump picked Liberty for his first commencement speech. Several presidents, including Barack Obama, George W. Bush, Ronald Reagan, and Jimmy Carter, have spoken first at the University of Notre Dame. The White House dispatched Vice President Mike Pence to the Notre Dame commencement Saturday. More than 6,100 graduates attended Liberty's ceremony, 68% of whom attended classes online and probably had never been to campus before this week. Following a torrential rainstorm Friday night, the sun made an appearance just as the grand procession began. Still, women's heels sunk into wet grass, and some opted for rain boots instead. In a light-hearted moment, Trump listed some of the schools that Liberty's football team will face in 2018, when it joins the top tier of collegiate competition. Opponents will include such traditional powers as Auburn, Virginia Tech, and Ole, Mississippi. "Jerry, are you sure you know what you're doing here?" Trump quipped.